All right, guys, welcome back to Noble's View. This is our match preview for the game between Arsenal versus Everton at the Emirates. Now, this game, like every other game this period for Arsenal, is like a Champions League and a cup final for the Arsenal Football Club because they are currently 67 points top of the league table. Everton at the moment are currently seated in the 8th position in the English Premier League. Now, like I said earlier on, Arsenal this period, every game they play is like a final for them. Now, I'm going to give my prediction towards the end of this preview. Now, if we look at the head-to-head between Arsenal and Everton, last season it was 0-0 at the Emirates. It was a 0-0 draw. At Goodison Park, the old stadium of the Everton team, it was a 1-1 draw. And earlier on this season, in the new stadium, I think it's the Dickinson Stadium, right? The new Everton Stadium. It was a 1-0 victory for Arsenal against Everton. Now, the scoreline between these two teams has not been those big scoreline of having like 5-0, 5-1 and all that. I think the last time they had that kind of result was like maybe 2-3 years ago. Now, the recent results between Arsenal has been 1-0, 1-1, 0-0. You know, like it's been a close range game. Now, this game is going to be really tough for Arsenal. Very, very tough. And like I said earlier on, Arsenal will always take these games as though they are finals because if they drop any points now, it's going to be a very big problem for Arsenal. Personally, I think this week and the next Premier League games that will be played after these weekend games is going to be really, really crucial for Arsenal's push for the league title this season. The last time Arsenal won the league was 22 years ago. That was in 2004. I know so many Arsenal fans that are currently watching Arsenal at the moment. They have never seen their team lift the English Premier League before. So it's really, really frustrating for a lot of Arsenal fans. Personally, I do think that Arsenal is going to see how they can to scrapingly get a win. We call them the corner kick FC and all that, set piece FC and all that. They are very good with it. But one thing I do know for sure is that Arsenal is not going to take this game lightly. Yes, their game against Leverkusen in the Champions League was a very, very terrible performance from Arsenal. They ended up to play a 1-1 draw. Very lucky to get a penalty. Personally, I do not think that was a penalty, but it is what it is. Sometimes in football, teams get decisions in their favor. Sometimes they get it against them. So whichever one it turns out to be, you just have to carry on with the game and regardless, move on. Now, coming to my prediction for this Arsenal game against Everton. I do think Arsenal is going to win this game, but it's going to be a really, really close call. So I'm predicting a 1-0 win for Arsenal against Everton at the Emirates. Is it going to be tough? Yes. The same thing I said against Brighton last week. I predicted a 1-0 victory for Arsenal against Brighton. And I said, guys, that game is not going to be a very, very easy one, honestly, because Brighton and Arsenal, the whole things that the manager of Brighton has been saying, Fabian Hosler, that the tactics of Mikel Arteta and all that, I knew it was going to make the game really, really tensed. Yeah, the game wasn't an easy one. Arsenal got a goal from, I think it was Bukayo Saka that scored a goal in that game early on in the game, and Arsenal ended up winning that game 1-0. City dropped 2 points after the 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest at the Etihad. Now, I do think City is going to have a very, very hard time against West Ham. I have a contrary opinion. I predicted that Man City is going to lose 2-1 to West Ham. Now, so many people will see that as it's not going to work. Man City will batter West Ham. But I think West Ham will cause troubles for Man City. Man City also have a very important game at the Etihad against Madrid next week, Tuesday. So it's going to be tough. So like I said, for this Arsenal game against Everton, I'm going for a 1-0 victory for Arsenal against Everton. So do let me know in the chat what your thoughts are about this Arsenal game against Everton at the Emirates. If you have a contrary prediction to mine, do let me know in the chat. And also don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Nobu's View. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out, guys. See you in the next video. Take care and bye.